Have you ever had your foodstuff confiscated by Nigerian customs on the way out of Nigeria, informing you that, the food items that you're traveling with are not legal, that you can't travel with those food items to the US? Or have you experienced customs sort of like they were asking you for something for the food items that you're traveling with, and you felt pressure to give them money because you didn't really know what the rules are with regard to, carrying food from Nigeria to the US? If so, this video is for you. I remember once when I was traveling years ago and I had bottles of Groundnuts in my checked-in luggage, and one customs guy basically told me that, oh no, you can't carry bottles in your suitcase, it has to be plastic. I looked at him like, what? I actually asked him to show me the rules of where that was stated. I think he saw that I was not going to back down. He just let me go. I'm sure some of you have had a similar experience or maybe a different experience. Like, please leave a comment in the comments section below of the experiences that you've had carrying Nigerian food items out of Nigeria. In this video today, I'm going to be sharing with you the rules for traveling with Nigerian food from Nigeria to the US. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. I'm going to dive straight into this video and talk about the Nigerian food items that you could travel with or not travel with to the US. Before I get started, what food items that you can travel with really depends on two things. Number one, what are the rules regarding sort of bringing in food items in the country you're going to? So what are the laws of that country that you're going to? What are the laws of the US with regard to bringing food in? Number two, what is permissible by the airline, I guess also by the Nigerian government, of what you can travel with on a plane? I actually reached out to the US government asking them about TSA, about what food items I can carry to the US, and they forwarded me on to the Customs and Borders department and sent me to a particular article that was, I believe, in April 2020 when I was updated with regard to specific food items that you can bring into the US. These food items are actually mentioning categories of food items, not specific names of our food items in Nigeria. What I'll do is in the description box below, I'm going to write a list of like our popular food items and whether you allow them or not allow them in there. And I also pop them up as I'm talking about different categories to make it easier for you to sort of navigate and understand whether what you're planning to take with you is actually allowed to the US. I will also link the website information in the comment section because, as we all know, rules and guidelines change all the time. So it's important when you're about to travel to actually check for your own specific checks at the point in time whether or not those food items are allowed for you to travel to the US. So let's talk about the items that you cannot travel with to the US. Number one, palm oil. You cannot travel with palm oil to the US. And this actually is not really about the US, but more so about, I guess, the airline and the Nigerian sort of like aviation authority, right? The reason being that palm oil has a high risk of spillage, so it can easily spill, and also combustibility. So basically it can go up in flames very quickly, which is not safe. So it makes sense that palm oil is not allowed for travel. Number two, dried spices that are made from like the citrus family, like sort of like lemongrass, anything with lime, any spice that has sort of like fruits like from the citrus family is not allowed for travel to the US. So forget that. Number three, it states that almost all fresh and frozen fruits and vegetables are prohibited from entering the US. So if you have fresh vegetables, fruits, like forget it. Even if you get a fruit on the plane, you're not allowed to take that fruit into the US. Next, milk. Milk is not allowed into the US, especially from countries that have had foot and mouth disease, which Nigeria is one. So you can't take milk. I'm not sure you guys won't think of taking milk to the US anyway for Nigeria. Next, it says eggs and products made from eggs, again due to foot and mouth disease, are not allowed to the US from Nigeria. Finally, let's talk about this huge item that is not allowed into the US is meat. It states here that fresh, chilled or frozen, cooked, cured, dried meat are not allowed from countries that have been affected with certain livestock diseases, right? So some of the livestock diseases, I believe, For example, foot and mouth disease, swine verniculus disease, African swine fever. I believe Nigeria is one of those countries, so meat's actually not allowed. So even kilishi, even though it's been dried and cured, is really not allowed into the US based on the information that they're sharing here. Number 7, and this is a final category of items that are not allowed, Nigerian food items that are not allowed into the country, is poultry. Poultry includes domestic fowls like Guinea fowl, chicken, turkey, geese, duck, is all not allowed in any form. And I'll explain. This is what the government website says. It says USDA does not allow travelers to bring back most poultry meat or poultry meat products from countries affected with certain serious poultry diseases. The first disease, it says highly pathogenic avian influenza, and the second is Newcastle disease. It says to find out a country status for these diseases, visit our animal disease status page. So if you actually go on the animal disease status page, you will see that Nigeria is under the category for the highly pathogenic avian influenza. So you cannot take any poultry, fresh or cooked, it does not matter. You cannot take it to the US. So now let's talk about the more interesting part. What can you actually take to the US? Like all these things, they say no, no, no. What are the items that you can travel with comfortably and, you know, comfortably talk about when you get attacked by Nigerian immigration to say, I know my rights. This is allowed. Here is the information. Number 1, roasted nuts. I love my groundnuts, and roasted nuts are allowed into the US. It states here that nuts pass as long as they are boiled, cooked, ground, oven dried, pureed, roasted, or steamed, right? So if they've been processed in a way, they're allowed. It says that raw nuts may get the green light, providing the shell is removed, right, such as almonds, cashews, and macadamia nuts. So, you know, we have in Nigeria those peanuts that are in the shell. I would avoid carrying the shell because those may be taken away from you. So just normal roasted peanuts are fine to take. It then states, second point, that most dried spices, that is, dried spices are a safe bet, except that they're from the citrus family, as I mentioned before, in the not allowed list. Good part here, dried foods. So beans, dates, nuts, okra, if it's been dried, right, is allowed into the US, right? So if your food comes under the category of dried foods, it's allowed into the US. I'll pop up some Nigerian food items that fall onto this, that I believe fall under this category. In general, seafood is actually allowed into the US. It states on the website here that they don't really regulate most seafood items. It's only if it's been breaded. Because if it's been breaded, it may contain animal like milk and eggs. So fish should be allowed into the US. So guys, that is pretty much sort of the conclusion of the video with regard to what you can bring to the US from Nigeria. I think it's really important to arm yourself with this information so that you're not intimidated at the airports in Nigeria when you're carrying things that are actually legal to travel with. If you have specific food items that you're not sure whether it fills into the buckets, like leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you let you know whether or not it does or it doesn't. But also check out the description box because I'm going to put in the common Nigerian items and whether or not they're allowed into the US or not there. I really hope you found this information super useful. Thank you again for supporting my channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.